I think I'll be the one to go out there and say that he's the best option. He's your best option for a Spider 20 tank at this point in the game. I can't think of a better one other than maybe Miscreated Monster, who puts up huge shields in this. What's going on YouTube? My name is Andrew, aka the Black Dragon. This is Black Dragon Studios, and this is another episode of iPlay Raid Shadow Legends. Today, man, we're going to be returning to the Spider's Den Stage 20. Now, oh, look at this. Compensation gifts. 5 Ancient Shards, 1 Void Shard, 50 multi-battles times 4, 500 silver, 2 clan boss keys, and 3 energy refills. You may have recently experienced issues playing Raid due to certain in-game bugs. Thank you, 𝓘'𝓿𝓮, for pointing this out. I'm sure he was the one that got us all this stuff by basically raging at Plarium in one of his most recent videos. Okay, so they've apologized for that. I didn't notice many of the bugs myself. I play this game a lot, but always good to have extra free stuff coming in. Especially the shards, man. Especially those void shards. If you're not wailing out on this game or spending quite a bit of money, it can actually be kind of hard to get your hands on void shards. So we're going to go ahead and open those up. And my raid game just straight up turned off on me. So we'll be right back. I'm just going to cut here and I'm going to reload the game and we're going to go ahead and here and open these shards. Alright, I'm back. So yeah, free stuff, free energy. Just got a bunch of energy. We're going to be using that today. Really nice to have. But as I was saying before, it can be difficult to pick up those shards. And usually I would wait for a 2x event, but I'm feeling a little bit lucky today. And I don't really care, honestly. I don't really care about shards all that much, so I'm just gonna pop them open. I've opened shards outside of a 2x event before, and I got Venus outside of a 2x event. Let's go ahead here and see if I can pop open another, like maybe a Painkeeper or even a Cold Heart. I would be appreciative of right now. And it's going to be Retainer. Okay, alright. I do have 6 Ancients. Gonna go ahead here and create a few slots and then pop open those Ancients. Let's see here. Who can I level up a bit? This guy looks like he wants to be leveled. There we go. Should have the correct amount of slots now, and then we'll get into the video. The point of the video is not to open shards today, but it's got kind of a little cool detour. Greybeard, not really that good if you have already 3 or 4 of them, but with the new dupe system coming in, that might actually be relevant to have more than just 2 of a certain character now. Muckstalker is garbage. I wouldn't stock any muck with him if he was the last stalker on Earth. What do we got here? Jingle Hunter. Holy man, this is actually a decent pull, man. Jingle Hunter is one of the best speed leads in Arena. He's got a 24% ally speed in Arena. That's really good. Attacks all enemies, decreases the turn meter by 20% if the attack is critical, fills his turn meter by 10% if the attack is critical. Okay, I don't really see that being that good. Attacks one enemy, has a 90% chance of placing a freeze debuff on all enemies for 1 turn if this attack kills the enemy. Not heavily excited about that. Probably just would put him in there for the speed aura. So maybe not as great of a pull as you might think, but definitely would be relevant in some comps. Moving right along from that, and my 700th of 𝓑𝓬𝓐 Alchemage. Very good champ, but I have 7, so he's going to be getting empowered. And I'm going to have the best of 𝓑𝓬𝓐 Alchemage in the game. So, And he's going to be probably one of my Dwarf Faction Guardians at the rare level, which is not too bad. I mean, you know, I'm not a huge fan of the dupe system. I'm glad that they implemented something. I'm just not a huge fan of empowering. I know that they pulled a little play out of the Mortal Kombat book. Mortal Kombat Mobile does this empowering thing where you can actually empower your fighter 10 times and make him super powerful, and then once he gets to the 10th fusion, bring him up another 10 levels, which is great, but it's so much easier to get those characters in duplicates in Mortal Kombat than it is in this game. Probably by like 100, honestly, maybe even more. So I'm not super excited about the fact that people are going to have 4 times more powerful Duchess or Rhodos or Warlord, etc., etc. So the rich just keep getting richer. Okay. So I am liking the life token system. If you have a bunch of dupes, you can get life tokens. Not sure what the prices are going to be for those legendaries. But anyways, man, let's skip right over to the point of the video today, which is I'm going to be doing a little gear cleanse first. I just spent roughly about 800 energy on Spider's Den 20. It took me about an hour or 2 hours to complete, and I'm going to go in there and show you how I organize and cleanse my gear for each faction. It's looking very cluttered at the moment. I've got lots of new pieces, lots of pieces that are sort of rolled up, not quite optimized, don't really know, especially with the epic and legendary pieces, if those are actually going to be high quality pieces that I'm going to want to keep in the account for a long time, or if I'm just going to end up selling them and gaining the silver that comes from that. As many of you may know, if you don't know, Spider's Den is the best place in the game strictly to farm silver and at the same time be able to get a quality gear piece for your champion that could catapult you into, say, the next level of clan boss or arena or anywhere in the game. Basically, there's some really good pieces to be won, which can't be won on 12.3, which is Brutal Stage 12.3, which is obviously the best place that we've, as a community, decided is pretty much the best place in the game to farm silver and XP at the same time. We're going to get that best balance and return rate on silver and XP for our food champions that anywhere in the game has to offer. On average, I would say you're going to get about, if you're putting in 3 food champs and one guy that can clear the waves in 12.3, you're going to end up with roughly 25,000 XP for those 3 champs that are being leveled, which is not bad. And at the same time, the level is going to be cleared within, say, 10 to 20 seconds normally, which is also not bad time-wise. If you have, say, a guy like Belor, who can make your runs 7 to 9 seconds consistently, that's even better. And at the same time, the average silver return for that 8 energy that's going to be spent on 12.3 is going to be roughly between 22 to 45k, but mostly you'll err on the side of like 22 to 30k on average per run on Brutal. Okay, but if we go into Spider 20, which is 16 energy, the average return for one run there is going to be anywhere between 60 to 120,000 silver, with no return on XP because the team that I'm going to be putting in there, I cannot put any food champs in. I wouldn't say. It would be pretty risky to run that and risk losing the match and then losing that 16 energy. But what we're going to be gaining instead of that XP is a chance at, like I said, these high-class jewelry items, as well as a boatload, probably about 100% more silver on average, maybe 50 to 100% more silver per run than Brutal would have to offer at a between 2 to 3 minute run. So it's going to be a lot more of a time investment, a lot more of a champion investment to get the right champs that can do this run 100% consistently. Maybe on auto. I don't really do it on full auto. I have a one-click auto. I call it the one-click auto. So I click one time on the mother spider, and then the rest of it is full auto right from there. Okay, and I can do that run 100% of the time. So I've just spent 800 energy, and what would I get for all that energy? Well, let's go in here and see. Let's click on just new, and you're gonna see here all these jewel pieces. I'm gonna get probably about, let's count them up here, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30, 33, 37, 44, 47 jewel pieces for completing that run. That's actually not bad, okay? I went up about 2 million silver just from doing that, and now I'm gonna go in here and I'm gonna sell off the rest of the jewelry that I'm not gonna be using. So generally how I do it is I filter by specific gear piece and then their primary statistics. So I'm gonna want to keep about, for the major ones like HP ring and defense ring, which I'm going to be using more frequently than the attack rings, which are basically just going to be for arena nukers and maybe some niche builds that require a heavy amount of attack. Guys like Phoenix and Ice Golem and stuff like that might do better with an attack ring, because his damage multipliers scale very heavily off of his attack stat. But again, I'm going to be using more so the HP. So I'm going to want to keep about 3 to 4 of each, and maybe 2 or 3 attack rings. So right here you see I'm pretty much just keeping those regardless, because I only have 3 in sacred order. So I'm not even going to roll that up. Right there, that HP ring with attack percent and defense percent is not something that I would roll up right away. I would opt more for something like this, which is, first of all, a blood shield ring, which gives me 5% of a shield worth of damage after attacking. It also has HP percent on it and defense percent on it, and then of course it rolled flat stat attack and flat stat defense, so I'm not going to roll that ring up anymore. I'm going to keep it just like that and see if I can maybe farm for something better in the future before maybe rolling that up if I somehow need it and can't find anything else. It still has a chance, since it's a legendary item, to roll HP percent 2 more times or defense percent 2 more times. Defense percent on an HP ring is actually pretty good on some champions, whereas attack percent might not be so great. If we're putting an HP ring on a champion, it's generally going to be on a champion that's more defensively based, so stats like HP percent and defense percent are going to be the ones that I'm looking for on an HP ring. I just collected these rings. I also did a filter while I was farming a lot of the runs that sold off all the 5-star gear pieces, so I was only collecting 6-star gear pieces. So most of these new items a lot of them are going to be 6-star gear pieces, which is really all I care about at this point. This 𝓑𝓭 ring with HP percent is fine to keep and maybe roll up and see if we can get some HP percent on that. I'm not going to do it right now though. And this is a pretty good start out for an HP ring. Attack percent, defense percent, and HP percent. All the stats that we're looking for, and defense right on that ring. Perfect there. These Ogryn Tribes HP rings, I'm not going to even look at them right now because I only have 2, and I'm not going to be sitting here and rolling up too much gear right now. I just want to quickly show you guys how I go through a gear cleanse. And if I just literally did a gear cleanse yesterday, because we have a spider tournament going on right now, and I'm trying to get my clan boss team's gear rolled up because I just re-geared everybody. So a lot of the gear I did sell off, so you're not going to see too much excess in my inventory in the HP department. Let's check out this ring here in the Barbarian faction. That's a really good HP ring. Epic ring with HP, attack, and defense percent. So I'll keep that there for now, and I will roll that up eventually. That will go on either a Faction Wars champion or any champion, really. This here, Dwarves HP ring. Again, a great ring. Defense percent, attack percent, and HP percent. It doesn't get much better than that, man, for a legendary ring. And this here ring, not so great. It did roll. I could get a double roll of HP percent, and then it might be worth keeping, but I will not roll that up right now. We'll just keep that there. What I can do as well, if there's, say, like an artifact or accessory upgrading event going on, which there is right now, I'm not participating in it, is I can actually do this. click on eco mode, turn it on, and it's at 10 FPS. And now I can upgrade this quicker to level 8, and I could even just stop it at level 7, and it'll roll up super quick. Cancel that. No, it didn't stop on 7. I got 1 roll of HP percent, so that ring may go on a Faction Wars character later on. And I'll just turn off eco mode and we'll go right back to searching through all this new gear. Not too much in the Lizard Man and Orcs faction, Knights Revenants hurting for HP rings right now. So we'll just keep all that and we'll move right on to the attack rings. Now these attack rings I can be more liberal at disposing of because, again, like I told you before, the only time an attack ring is ever going to go on a champion is pretty much for an arena nuker, and I'm not going to have a whole lot of arena nukers, so I'm usually only going to have like maybe 2 or 3 arena nukers. I'm in a mid-game account, so I only have 2 arena nukers right now. One is fully built out, and the other one is being built out. She's about 90% done. So I can go ahead here and I can check this Knights Revenant ring. Reaction rings are okay for an arena nuker because what they do is they change a critical hit into a normal hit if I'm slower than the opponent, which can prevent my teammate from dying possibly. Skinwalkers, I'm not really having a whole lot of Skinwalker nukers right now in my account. I do have some pretty good attack rings that have already been rolled up. So what I can do here is I could even just roll it 1 time to level 4 and see if it comes out attack percent, and if it doesn't, I can just sell that off. See, it didn't. So I can just now I can rest comfortably knowing that I can just sell that off, and I'm not going to have to worry about selling off something that I shouldn't have sold off because it didn't roll the correct statistic. Okay, so let's check here through the rest of them. I don't have any more than 3. I would just keep 2, honestly. 2 or 3 is perfectly okay, especially for something like dwarves where you're not gonna really ever be using too much attack rings. We're not gonna have too many dwarf nukers other than maybe a 𝓑𝓵𝓛, and I don't have a 𝓑𝓵𝓛, so I'm not even concerned about attack rings at the moment in the dwarf faction. Things like this is how I think about when I'm doing a gear cleanse. So my gear's pretty decent right now. Here we're in the defense rings, and you know, I'm not seeing a whole lot. Right here is a good one to sell off right away. I'm not even going to roll that up. It's got flat HP and flat attack. That's going to get binned instantly. Even though it is 6-star, it's still going to get instantly canned. There's a nice little ring there, HP percent and defense percent on a defense ring, and that one there with a flat HP and attack, again, will just go right in the bin. 41k silver just for that. Not a bad pull for 1 run. So we're going to take the 9,000 silver that they give us for the run of Spider, plus the 41,000 silver. That's 50,000 silver for 1 run of Spider, which is actually not too bad. And next I'm going into the amulets. Amulets, the first thing that I'm going to be able to bin off are the attack amulets, which are again going to be the most infrequently used on an arena nuker. For an attack amulet, the only time that we would ever use that is for a bomb champion, which damage is based off of their attack. If we're using just a regular arena nuker, they're going to have a crit damage amulet as the primary statistic. So most of these attack, even like things like high elves, do not have bomb champs. You'll never see me put an attack ring on an attack amulet on. The only places that I know of that have bomb champs might possibly be Demon Spawn, have a few ones. Lord Shazar, and there's another guy, I can't remember his name off the top of my head. Where's he at? This guy right here, Soul Drinker, does a lot of bombs. Okay, so we'll go right back to the filter here. Barbarians will have like War Mother. Orcs may have some bomb champions too, and who else? Definitely not Dark Elves that I know of. Lizard Men that I know of can just be sold off. And that's pretty much it. So I don't have to even look at the statistics on that, because I know that I'll never use those amulets to begin with. So we'll move right on from that. Everyone else just has one or two, which is fine. Just keep them on hand, you know, for the future. Then I would move over to the crit damage amulets. Crit damage amulets will be used quite frequently on many champions in the game that we want to pump up their damage. It's also good to have accuracy, usually with the crit damage as the main stat. Something like this, with, you know, accuracy or even multiple rolls of accuracy. If we get a lot of crit damage amulets with accuracy as a substat, I'm going to end up keeping the ones that have more rolls of accuracy and have 6 stars. On a 6-star crit damage amulet, I think we can get 40% crit damage, if I'm not mistaken. And then on a 5-star piece, we can get 33%, up to 33% crit damage. So obviously you're going to want the 5-star, you're going to want the 6-star piece over the 5-star. So I'm going to go right ahead here and sell off this new crit damage amulet because it doesn't have any accuracy on it. And rarely do I ever have a champ that needs a crit damage amulet that wouldn't benefit from even just a little bit more accuracy. You can't really get good substats on amulets anyways. I mean, accuracy and resistance would probably be the 2 best things to have, followed by defense and HP. But that's really it. I mean, attack even would be great, just adding a little bit more attack, but you're never going to see attack percent, HP percent, defense percent on an amulet. So don't bin it just because it doesn't have those stats. It'll never have those stats. Got a nice little 6-star crit damage amulet with accuracy and resistance on it, so I'll definitely be rolling that up here in a bit. And then I'll keep the new crit damage amulet, even though it doesn't have accuracy on it. I might be able to get accuracy in one of the later rolls and maybe not even have to roll that up. We'll just keep it on hand just in case I have an influx of Dark Elves characters that need crit damage amulets. Okay, so there we go. There's my crit damage amulets all thinned out and ready to go, ready to roll up whenever I want. Then I'll move into the defense amulets. Defense amulets obviously going to be put on a defensive champion. A lot of clan boss champions are going to need defense amulets. So, you know, at least 4. I would want to keep at least 4 defense amulets. Unless they have complete crap rolls, like they don't have resistance, they don't have accuracy, I would probably be more, or even something like this. These 2 are not really that good. To keep, this one has accuracy, as does this one, so I wouldn't even be upset to just get rid of these right now and not even roll them up, because they just don't have the rolls that I want, and they're not probably ever going to go on a champ. So now if it was the only one in my inventory, like this Ogryn Tribes one here, if it didn't have accuracy, I would still keep it. I may not roll it up right away unless I needed it right away. I would just keep it there until I got a better amulet, and then I would just ship that one to the bin. Okay. Like right here, I got 5 High Elves defense amulets. I do not need 5 defense amulets right at this second. So right here, away, I know I'm going to get rid of this. This does not have accuracy on it. Accuracy is one of the highest sought after stats. These ones all have accuracy on them already. So I know that I can just safely bin this one, and it's probably not going to hurt me. Even if the champ doesn't need accuracy, there's really no other substats that are even going to boost your champion statistics high enough to even make an impact really anyway. Unless you rolled like quad HP, even flat HP, rolled 4 times, maybe net like an extra 2,000 HP, might make a difference. but I'm not going to worry about it because I'm probably going to opt for the one with accuracy 99.9% of the time anyways. It's not going to make a big deal to just get rid of the ones that don't have accuracy on them. And then right into the HP ones, things like the reaction amulets. There's other ones that have been given out too, which offer a chance for counterattack, revenge amulets. I'll be more lenient on the rolls with these because I'm going to have that special effect, which is really going to make them a lot better than any other amulets out there, really. And this one has accuracy on it already, and it does have crit damage. So let's say I got a champion that's more defensively based, but I do want to build a little bit of damage into their build as well with accuracy. I now have that option. I can put an HP amulet on them with crit damage. I can maybe get 2 or 3 rolls of crit damage and have like 20 or 25% crit damage, as well as a high roll of HP. I think with a 5-star amulet, we can get an extra 3,500 HP guaranteed, which is great. On top of that, it has resistance, and it has, like I said, we might be able to get a triple roll of accuracy on that because it's a legendary piece. So that's amazing. Okay? Nothing in the demon spawn department in terms of HP. I have no idea why I've farmed spider millions of times and still don't have an HP amulet for my demon spawn faction, which is actually really weird. That's probably the only slot that I don't have a piece of jewelry for any faction out of any slots. HP banners, I'm going to be a little more lenient on. I probably would keep about... The only banners that I wouldn't really care too much about is resist banners early to mid game, because you're not going to require a whole lot of resistance in your builds until in the super late game and things like arena, or maybe some niche builds like in the Doom Tower and stuff like that. So I just keep like 1 or 2, maybe even just 1 would honestly be perfectly fine. With some speed on it would be great, and then defense percent and HP percent usually would be on a resist champion, a champion that would be having resist. So it's like, that's a good banner right there. It's got all the stats that I'm looking for, plus a main stat of resistance, and it's a 5-star epic banner. So I'm going to keep that one, as well as this one here too. It's got speed and defense percent, and it's a legendary piece, so I can roll another triple roll of speed, which is honestly probably never going to happen with a banner. It's just so rare for it to roll even a double roll of speed. It's extremely rare. So if you can even get 1 roll of speed on the banner, that's great. You're not always going to need extra speed. Like, I have some Nightmare Clan Boss builds that I recently had to cut down their speed in order to like sort of optimize the amount of times that they're taking their turns, so that their buffs aren't wearing off too quickly. I don't want speed on some characters for that reason. I need to find banners without speed. So I can even just do that. I can keep 1 banner without speed rolls, and then I can keep a banner that has no speed rolls, like this one here, for example. And it does have the good stats, those two, like HP percent and defense percent. Okay, so it's just basically like, what do I need for my account the most, and then everything else just gets sold off. So we're looking at resist. Accuracy banners are a pretty penny in this game, especially 5 and 6-star epic and legendary banners. I'll keep like 4 banners, honestly, up to 4 banners in each faction for accuracy, because it's like the most highly sought after stat in this game. Even we can get those from the clan shop right now, the revenge banners, which are really good in arena, anywhere really in the game, but especially in clan boss and arena, where taking extra hits is always going to be beneficial for our team usually. Things like speed, attack percent, defense percent, HP percent, all great things to have on a reaction, or sorry, on a revenge banner. Okay, so as long as I have about 4 in each faction, I'm happy. I'm going to look through all the stats here. This is an accuracy banner that's rolled 2 times attack percent. That may be okay on a more offensively based champion, maybe a bomb champion like War Mother or something like that. This one here has speed and defense percent, so that'll probably go on like a clan boss champion. I'm going to keep that in my account. This one here, attack percent and speed, I'm probably going to keep that, and probably, oh wow, okay, probably honestly going to ditch this 4-star now that I have banners that are better than that. Just even before being rolled, I know for sure that these banners are already better than that banner that I just binned, so I don't even need to roll these up to know that, and I can just keep my silver for now. And I've looked through all them, and I can just move on right over to my defense, attack, and HP and do the exact same thing. Defense banners and HP banners, again, I'm probably going to keep 3 to 4 of them in my account at all times throughout the mid game, and then just cleanse off the ones that don't have the stats that I'm looking for. It's pretty much the same thing for defense banners. I'm looking for things like speed, defense percent, HP percent. This is a godly banner, right? That's a revenge banner that is 5-star legendary with speed, defense percent, HP percent, and attack percent. So I'm really going to be excited to roll that up and see what happens with that defense banner. It'll probably go on one of my clan boss champions, no doubt, or even maybe a faction wars champion, depending on the outcome of those rolls. As you can see, my gear has been pretty much rolled cleansed already, so we're not going to sit here and spend a whole lot of time doing that today. Attack banners, I would keep at least 2. 1 to 2 is fine, you know, bare minimum 1, but any more than 2 is probably unnecessary. I mean, the only time that these are ever going to go on a champion, like I said before, is if it's an arena nuker or a bomb champion. So what I would want on these ones is attack percent and speed. Everything else can probably just get binned, because it's just not going to be optimal. Like here, I got one without speed on it, but it has a chance to roll double attack percent, so I'll keep that. This one here has speed and attack percent, so I'm going to keep that. This one here has HP percent, defense percent, and speed. I might just keep that, roll it up, say right now, to level 8, and see if I can get a couple rolls of speed on it. Otherwise, it might just go right into the bin. Because you know, these defense percent and HP percent, I'm not really looking for those stats on an attack banner. And as you can see, I got 1 roll of speed, so now I can roll it up to level 12, and I can even just see, I don't have to do it right away, but I can eventually roll it up to level 12 and see if that roll is double speed. If it doesn't roll double speed, honestly, I'll probably just move on from it. I really don't see a reason at this point to keep that, because I'm probably never going to use it, you know? So, now that's the one thing I hate the most about Raid, is that and then it will lose your position on where you were looking. So, how that happened, I'll never know. But anyways, we're going to sell that off. 70,000 silver, so I gained back most of my silver that I would have spent from rolling it. And I got some points in the artifact enhancement event too, which will be pretty good. I think I may have just sold off the wrong banner. No, I didn't. Okay, so let's take a look through these 𝓑𝓵𝓾𝓮 banners here. That was the one I sold. Okay, so I'll just keep those 3 on hand for now. I know that I'll probably end up using this one or this one, which is perfectly fine. And then we'll just keep this one here for later on, when I'll probably not roll it and end up replacing it. Unless for some crazy odd reason I need a 3rd banner and the other 2 are already being worn by somebody, I can just throw that on somebody. Banners can be kind of hard to get, so like if you honestly want to keep even more, like say you want to keep 4 or 5 of them on hand, then feel free to do that. But like I told you, you're rarely going to need more than 1 banner or 2 banners with attack and resist on each faction, because they're rarely put on a champion over an HP banner or an accuracy banner, which I would say are the most commonly used. If you want to keep 5 or 6 accuracy banners for each faction on hand, go ahead and do that. But I would just bin a couple of them, honestly. As you can see here, I'm not going to keep a whole lot of them. even Bannerlords is a more defensively based faction, so and I don't really have any of them at the moment, so right here I can go ahead and say to myself, probably bin this here. Probably just go ahead and bin this one here. I'm never going to use it. I already have 2 other ones that I could put on somebody today. And then here I got 4 Ogre and Tribes attack banners. Like, the reason I kept is because one is a blood shield, another is legendary, has a chance to roll another 3 times or 2 times roll of speed on there. So I'll keep that for now. It's rolled attack percent and speed, and then this last one here, flat HP and defense, I would just bin that. Even if it was my only attack banner, I would still honestly just bin that probably and just try to go farm for a better one, because it's rarely, like, an extra 300 attack isn't really going to make a huge impact on too many champions. Like right here I got this demon spawn. I just got 2 horrible demon spawn attack banners. I would never put these on my worst enemy, so I'm just going to sell it off and hope that I find more banners in attack for demon spawn. Okay. HP banner, same thing. They frequently go on a champ. I would keep at least 2 of them, so maybe with some speed or just with HP percent or defense percent would really all be the stats that I'm looking for on there. So see, this one here is legendary banner. I would sell it if it wasn't legendary, because it already didn't roll speed and now I have to invest a boatload of silver. I might take it up to level 8. That would be the easiest way to know whether or not I'm going to be keeping it or not, because I already have enough banners and it doesn't have really any of the defensive stats that I'm looking for. So it did roll 1 roll of speed. Now I can take it up to 12 and just see if the gods bless me with another roll of speed. Otherwise, it's probably honestly just, I'm not going to roll it up to 16 just to see if I can get another roll of speed. So that's going to cost like 2 million silver. Well, if you look at that there, see, if I would have been that, I would have just lost a massive rating of speed just because of my own negativity, thinking, oh, well, it's only got speed on it. 14 speed is a lot of speed on a champion, and the fact that it has a chance to roll another roll of speed when it hits 16, that's going to definitely go on somebody. I don't know who, but that's already a godly piece right there with an extra 14. Even though it doesn't have HP percent or defense percent, it's got a huge roll of speed on it. So that's a very hard thing to find in this game, is speed. So on the banners especially, so it's great already. Now I know for sure that I can bin this HP banner that just rolled attack percent. I'm never going to use that, and I already have 3 other banners, so I'll just take the 70,000 silver. Thank you very much. And remember, friends, you know, just because you sell off a piece that you shouldn't have sold off or whatever, you made a little mistake, don't sweat it, because you can always just go back to the spider's den and do some more farming. So, like, I'm always in the spider's den, upping my silver count. Okay, and as you can see there, I've already rolled a bunch of pieces like to level 12, which is quite expensive. Here's one right here. I'm never going to use this. I'm probably never going to use this banner. That can go right in the bin, and then I'll just keep these other 2. The one that had speed on it was the one that I opted for, and this one here honestly could probably just go in the bin. Like, I'm never going to use that. It's rolled 1 flat stat defense and it's only a rare piece. I would rather just keep the 1 HP banner on hand. I know I'm probably not going to use it before I get another HP banner, and if I do, whatever, I just put on a defense banner or something like that. It's easily replaceable. Okay, so there we go. I've done a whole gear cleanse. I've rolled up a couple of pieces, and as you can see, I broke even. So those rolling something up to level 12 takes like 500 or 600,000 silver, and I think I rolled up 2 or 3 pieces to level 12 right from level 0 there. So, and we got some pretty decent rolls on them too. So right there, I've just broke even, and I've gained like 2 million silver just from spending a couple hours in the spider's den. So, you know, that's a pretty good outcome if you ask me. And now I'm going to show you guys how exactly I do go into the spider's den and make that work every single time. I'm going to show you the build, Okay, and then I'm going to go in and I'm going to do a run, and I'm going to show you guys exactly how it works. You guys don't need these exact champions to run this. You guys can use your own builds. But the basic strategy that I use in Spider's Den is HP burn on the spider, and then have a tank that attracts the spiderlings to attack them and them only, and then basically just keeping your HP burner alive and having maybe a secondary damage dealer, which in this case be Geomancer. He's going to be reflecting a lot of damage onto the mother spider with his reflect damage passive, and he's going to be proccing extra damage with things like War Master, and now they have like a 3% Giant Slayer thing built right into his passive. Okay, so he's going to be hitting the mother spider for just about as much damage as our HP burner. Our AoE HP burn, you can get a single Terry HP burn that just HP burns the mother spider, and then an HP burn spreader, so a debuff spreader that can spread your HP burn that you've placed on the main spider to all the other spiders. Okay, so, but I think the more commonly used method in the HP burn category, which is actually a very safe category to go into for spider, is to just place HP burn AoE, which is on everybody. A guy like Venus will do that very well. A guy like 𝓑𝓵𝓪𝓬𝓙 might be able to do that for you, or possibly Mordecai might be an epic that you can find easier. That will place HP burn on everybody. Okay, and what the HP burn on the spiderlings is going to do is every time the spiderling acts, whether it attacks or not, is it's going to trigger an HP burn damage debuff, which will actually hit the mother spider for even more damage. It'll hit the spiderling for like 6,000, and it'll hit the mother spider for like 180,000 damage. Okay, so it's going to end up killing her very quickly. Now, to keep them alive, I've gone ahead and I've made a very tanky team. So I'm not going to sit here and tell you that the gear that I've used for these guys is out of this world. It's just basically mid-game gear. I put high defense accuracy and about 171 speed is the magic marker for most. Venus I've made very fast. She's running at like 220 speed. 𝓬𝓬𝓬𝓬𝓬, same thing. She's running at like 220 speed. She's going to revive and heal the team and put veils on them, so sometimes the spiderlings aren't going to be able to attack players that they would normally want to. It's going to offer a lot of protection and give us a 15% damage reduction while we're veiled. She's also going to place a very important tool on the mother spider, decrease attack. So she's going to be our secondary decrease attack champion. If Eox cannot land his AoE decrease attack, she'll at least be able to land it most of the time on the mother spider and prevent us from dying as quickly. Eox the Rememberer, not only does he place decrease attack on everybody, but he also places decreased turn meter and decreased crit rate, so that the spiders will be hitting basically for nothing. They'll be doing so little damage, it's going to be so inconsequential as compared to if we didn't have decreased attack on them. So if you can find somebody like Eox the Rememberer, who not only places decreased attack, he can also be offensive. You can place poison counters on the mother spider as well as healing the entire team. So he's going to heal everybody on my team once every 3 turns. He's going to place a huge, massive heal. We're going to have a bunch of debuffs on the mother spider, and based off of those debuffs, his heal is going to get bigger based off of how many debuffs are on the mother spider. As well, he also, every time that he gets attacked by anybody, he has a chance to increase the debuff duration on the enemies that are attacking him. Okay? So he's a wonderful champion, built with about 170 speed, high defense, high accuracy. About 200 accuracy is required on your champions that need to place debuffs for Spider 20. And this is going to be like the starting point where we can just start farming literally 5 and 6 star gear. So it's going to be the best place in the game to the best rate for energy to farm 5 and 6-star gear. Okay. And then we got a guy like 𝓂𝓲𝓬𝓸𝓲 who can come in. He's going to cleanse the team of all the poison counters that the Spiderlings are going to be placing on us. He's going to be increasing the turn meter of the champion that he's cleansing the debuffs from. 2 or more debuffs is going to increase their turn meter by 15%. He's also going to be placing massive heals on anybody who has debuffs on them already. As well, he's going to be putting up block debuffs, so whenever the Spiderlings do attack, they're not going to be able to place poison counters on those champions that have block debuffs up on them. He's going to be placing increased defense by 60% for 2 turns or 3 on everybody. So we're going to be taking even less damage. Our defense is going to be through the roof on this team. I'm going to be, when I have the increased defense up, I'm going to literally have like 7,000 to 8,000 defense on all of my team. So it's just, and it's up pretty much the whole time too. He's fully booked out, fully mastered. This is very important. If you don't have your champions fully booked and mastered, what are you doing? Go and get them fully booked and mastered as quickly as possible. I know it's hard to find books in this game, but at least get them mastered. You can go into the Minotaur and farm that in like a minute. It takes like 2 hours to fully master a champion, and it's very important because the masteries are going to be so crucial in killing off this mother spider. Especially things like War Master is very important to have on Geomancer to make this comp work, okay? You can go ahead and use Cold Hearts, you can go ahead and use Septimuses, but you got to find a way to keep them alive. I just found it's much easier to use HP Burn because this champion here is very tanky and very hard to kill. Good at, you know, she can also poison the boss as well. She can do a lot of damage to the boss without actually doing damage, if you know what I mean. Rector-Drath, she can do a little bit of damage as well. She's got War Master. She's going to be hammering the Mother Spider for 80 to 100,000 whenever that War Master does proc. She's also got like 55,000 HP, so she's going to be placing massive heals on the team and continuous heals. So she's going to be just, you know, increasing our survivability so much, as well as 𝓂𝓲𝓬𝓸𝓲. Again, built like a tank. He's got like 3,500 defense, 170-ish speed. He's got 40k HP, and Eox, same thing, about 30k HP, 4,700 defense. And then we got Geomancer here, who is going to be our quote-unquote tank. He's going to be the lowest HP on the team at like 30k HP. He's going to be very high defense, so I want to get his defense up. 4,000 defense is good to have. High accuracy so that he can land his debuffs. He's also going to decrease the target's turn meter by 100%. So he's going to decrease the Mother Spider's turn meter by quite a lot, and then he will gain all that amount of turn meter when he places the HP burn. So decreasing the turn meter and decreasing the speed of Agarith are very important in Spider 20. Okay, I'm telling you guys about all my little tips and tricks and secrets that I found. 𝓂𝓲𝓬𝓸𝓲 also has a decreased speed of 30% on his A1. You'll be shocked to know that you do not need a lot of accuracy on Agarith. He is landing his debuffs quite consistently at 120 accuracy. That is literally all he needs to place his debuff. So that's pretty much all you need, honestly, for Spider 20. Okay, it's crazy, I know. It's insane. Masteries, just accuracy masteries, down into War Master, and then things that might boost his healing up. I think I might have went into Merciful Aid, increases the amount of healing placed by this champion if they have sleep, fear, stun, freeze, etc., etc. Cycle of Magic is a really good one to put on champions. Has a 5% chance to decrease the cooldown of a random skill at the start of every turn. As you can see here, he's fully booked, so his cooldowns are where they should be. You know, there's so much to talk about when it comes to Spider-Man. It's not even funny. I could just sit here all day and talk to you guys about Spider. Like, gearing him is for clan boss. I have his clan boss build on. I have Geomancer's clan boss build on. Aox's clan boss build on. so it's just lifesteal. And I was even able to get like a 2-piece Immortal on Eox, which is just going to increase his HP by even more, which is great, and heal him even more. Basically on the bottom gear pieces, I'm looking for defense percent. Even on his boots, I was able to get defense percent and still able to get his speed where it should be, his 176 speed. And look at his defense. 4389 is a very good defense and 209 accuracy. So for his masteries, I was able to achieve War Master by going down the left side of the offense tree. For those that don't know, War Master has a 60% chance of inflicting bonus damage when attacking. It can only occur once per skill, no matter how many times they hit, and on bosses will deal 4% of the target's max HP. I've also went with Hex Master, so accuracy tree down on the support side, down into Hex Master, so it's going to extend the duration of any debuff cast by this champion by 1 turn. And now that I think about it, what I might even be more impressed to do, since I don't really want things like Arcane Celebrity or yeah, I would probably be more apt, since he has enough accuracy, to go with something like this. Pinpoint accuracy, into shield bearer, because I need to get over to lay on hands. He increases the value of healing. He's going to be doing a lot of healing, so we're going to be increasing. Healing Savior is a good one to go with, you know. And then Merciful Aid again. Swarm Smiter is a good one to have, not only for anywhere in the game, basically increases accuracy by 4 up to 16. Cycle of Magic, always a good one to go with. I would prefer anything that doesn't change his speed at this point or increase his speed, because again, he's going to be needed in Clan Boss. Things like Arcane Celebrity and Rapid Response are not really good to put on Clan Boss teams because they're so situational. And then a Sniper, so he has a poison on his A1, so it's good to have Sniper on Eox. And then of course, like I said before, we're going to take Deadly Precision. Having War Master on any champion is going to be great. Crit damage, single out, bring it down, methodical. We can just go right into War Master just like that. That's all we need. And then we even get another option here, so I would probably go into Hex Master, like I said before, extend the duration of any debuff by 1 turn. And there we go, we got our masteries for Eox. He's going to be healing for a lot. That's a basic Clan Boss, and it can be used anywhere in the game, but primarily in Clan Boss. That's a healing mastery tree right there. Okay, so we've done that. Just checking out Venus's statistics here. Here's her HP burn. It's been fully bucked out. It's on a 4-turn cooldown. It's pretty key in Spider to have somebody with a 4-turn cooldown. It's an attacks all enemies, has a 75 with masteries. How did that happen? I love how you just click on something in this game and it just takes you to another screen. She has this mastery right here. Sniper. Okay, so Sniper is really good to have because it increases your chance by placing a debuff by 5%. So with that, and this, the fact that it's fully booked out, it's 80% chance to place HP burn on all targets for 2 turns. Now she also has this mastery here, which I wouldn't put on Master Hexer, because we want her HP burn to only be 2 turns, so that way if Geomancer has to use his HP burn, it's a 3 turn, so it'll override her 2 turn HP burn every time. So that's one change I would make to Venus's build for this comp, and just for the overall game itself. Same thing with 𝓬𝓸𝓷, as you can see there. I've opted for the left side of the support tree, going with HP. Exalt in Death is great for PvE. Just keeping her alive and just moving right down into lasting gifts, which is really good for her because she's going to be placing continuous heals, and then we can get extra continuous heals, which is overpowered really. Okay, she's also going to revive people, give them 60% turn meter, fill their turn meter by 60%, give them 60% HP, and place a perfect veil on them. Other champions that can be used in her place might be a champion like 𝓑𝓲𝓽𝓬𝓴. Anybody who does a solid revive on a 4-turn cooldown, or a double revive, like anybody really. Reliquary Tender, who has a heal, revive, and cleanse, which is really nice. Okay, so that's pretty much it for that. Team power 133k. So like I said, we're not superly overpowered here. We're not super speedy. Save but for 𝓬𝓸𝓷 and Venus have a really decent amount of speed. I can just go right in here now and start farming pretty much on auto. All I have to do is I just have to click it one time and that's it. They can do it without the click. It just takes a bit longer and sometimes they will lose. So we're just going to click on the spider. It's easier. I like to play the game anyways. I don't know about you guys, but I like to sit here and play the game. I don't like to just turn on BlueStacks and then walk away for hours and hours. On a level like this where I know that the variance is high, if I don't click that, target that mother spider, what Geomancer will do is he will target a spiderling with his HP burn. Okay, so what has happened here already in this match is you see all these buffs on my team. Those came from Mazo Mage. There's a block debuffs, a increased defense, increased crit rate, and then the veils came from 𝓬𝓸𝓷. And then the debuffs that were placed, Geomancer placed his HP burn on the mother spider successfully, as well as a weaken, which increases the damage that she takes by 25% from our attacks. Aox has gone ahead and decreased everybody's turn meter, placed decreased attack on everybody, and decreased crit rate, which is relevant against spiderlings because they will crit and they will hit for double damage. Okay, as you can see here, they're already trying to kill my 𝓬𝓸𝓷, but it's probably not going to happen this early in the match because everybody is still up. None of them are status affected. Well, now Geomancer is asleep, but it's fine. As long as he's not dead, he's still going to reflect damage onto the mother spider from his HP burn that he placed on her. And that's going to basically deal the same amount of damage as a regular HP burn, which is like 166,000 per hit. Now that you can see, Venus has placed HP burn on all the spiderlings, and every time they take an HP burn, it's going to also hit, as you can see, the mother spider, who is taking 166,000 per hit. We were able to land a decreased speed on the spider as well as a decreased attack from either Mazo Mage or Aox, which is great too. So these are all the debuffs that we want. Okay, so I'll just list them off for you in order of importance to have in Spider. Is HP burn, number 1. Number 2, decrease speed would probably be the next one, followed by decrease attack. Those are the 3 ones that are absolutely utmost important in this one. Could you do it without decrease attack? Probably, but it's a lot harder. As you can see here, one of our champions is going to go down, but we're going to win the match. Just like that. 3-minute run. It's a little slower because I have BlueStacks running. And this is an okay amulet. It's a legendary amulet. It's an HP amulet. I might just keep that. I might just keep that for now. And go ahead here and just repeat. Rinse and repeat. Let's see what happens when I do a run without clicking. We'll just slow it down here. The first thing that happens is Phoenix plays her HP burn on everybody. And as you can see there, the thing that I talked about earlier happened. She placed 3 HP burn counters on the mother spider, so now Geomancer is not going to be able to place his HP burn on the mother spider, which is bad. So 𝓬𝓸𝓷 is going to veil up the whole team. They're going to take 15% less damage. And Eox is going to go in and place decrease attack on everybody, decrease crit rate on everybody, and decrease all their turn meters by 20%. Okay, it's fantastic. It's one of the best AoE crowd controls in the game. Now Geomancer, what he's going to do here is if I can maybe land and get lasting or Hexmaster active, I can still land the HP burn on the mother spider, but I could still decrease her turn meter as well. So that's what he's going to do next. I wasn't able to get the 4th counter on the HP burn, but I was able to decrease her turn meter, which is fine. And now Mazomage is going to come in here and he's going to place block debuffs and increase defense and increase crit rate on all of my team. And now Geomancer is not getting poisoned. He got an extra counter from lasting gifts, so now he has 2 block debuffs. So that's 2 turns that he will not get poisoned for, which is great. And now we can just start poisoning the mother spider. This is me doing it on manual, but this is not much different than how they would be doing it on auto. And then 𝓬𝓸𝓷 is going to go ahead here and just try to throw this A1 at the mother spider. And Geomancer, now, if he has low life, what this A1 will do here is it attacks all enemies, which is great. His decrease accuracy of 50% is actually relevant in Spider's Den because they will not be able to poison as effectively. And he has a chance of proccing War Master on all of these hits. So, you know, he could gain 50 or 100,000 life just off this right here. Boom, you see it there. He gained like 8,000 life and topped up his health, and he'll just continue to do that over and over. And then Eox here will either A1 to poison, or if I need healing, he can now heal the whole team for a massive amount. Let's say that somebody needed a heal. He would heal 10,000, 14,000, so he's healing everybody by so much. And then we can just auto it off. This is what happens when you don't have the HP burn on the mother spider from Geo. You can still win. That's how strong this team is. A lot of people talk about Geomancer's prowess and Clan Boss, but I think his best area, honestly, is in Spider 20 through 25. As long as he's built right. The most important thing is to have him in lifesteal gear and to have him the lowest HP on the team so that he is the one getting attacked by all the spiderlings. As you can see there, he just straight up targets a spiderling with his HP burn. So he just decreased the spiderling's turn meter, which is not what we want. He just fully depletes its turn meter, which is not what we want. he's placed 4 weak encounters on the spider, which is irrelevant. We don't want the spiders dying, and now he's not going to be reflecting damage back onto the mother spider, so that's why I don't like just fully, completely autoing Spider 20 with Geomancer. It's his only downfall. I wish that his AI was smarter and that it knew that if I target the mother spider, even if she already has an HP burn, at least I will decrease her turn meter, which is just as good. But anyways, he doesn't think about that. She does have a passive through spiders 21 through 25, Almighty Persistence, which reduces her turn meter reduction by 50%, so that's why it's a little more difficult and more costly through spiders 21 through 25. I just stick to spider 20. I find the rewards are just as, just about as good. 21 through 25 is it's a little bit harder to deal with because of the Almighty Persistence and because of the fact that the spiderlings become like level 350 on spider 25. Affinity changes and stuff like that too, but this team will work on pretty much any affinity because, as you can see here, my whole team is red affinity and this whole team is spirit affinity, so I'm actually at a losing advantage right now and I'm still beasting this level. We're still going to do this 100%. Honestly, probably without targeting the mother spider. I know that with the amount of healing, reviving, and cleansing that the rest of my support team is doing here, we're able to keep Geomancer is able to keep himself alive with his A1, which he will do on auto. He will never use his A2 in this level, which is really nice actually. So we're going to be able to still win this, I would say 100% of the time with this team. We might get a bad RNG where they will kill Rector, Drath, Venus, and Geomancer all first, and then it's over at that point. But usually we can still get the job done, even if they down Geomancer or Venus right off the bat. As you can see there, we'll just take it through, slow it down, and just kind of explain one more time what's going on here. So here comes the HP burns. They go on everybody. Here comes the decrease. Here comes the veils. Here comes the decrease attack, decrease turn meter, and decrease crit rate. Here comes the HP burn. He actually did place it on the mother spider this time, so that's a good thing. It will happen sometimes, sometimes not. And now he's going to be reflecting big damage. Those little 3,000s there, you see 166,000, so he's dealing 170,000 damage on top of Venus's 166,000 damage from the HP burns. So that's about 400,000 damage that is being applied to the mother spider per hit when Geomancer and Venus are working together as a team. And then Mazo Mage puts up the block debuffs and increased defense. So our whole team is very well protected for pretty much throughout the entire match. It is running pretty slow with blue stacks. It's lagging a bit. This run will take on average about 2 to 2 minutes 30 seconds to complete. The worst run that you're ever going to see on this, especially if you're doing the one-click strategy, is probably about 3 minutes. But this team now does have enough defense, enough accuracy, enough books, all their masteries, and good enough gear to be able to do this. I would say just on full auto. I'm looking at this right now. I'm not feeling threatened in any way. I know that Rector Drath does have 5 poison counters on her, but she's pretty much at full health. And I do imagine that she'll be able to at least get us to a place where we have enough HP burn counters out there and enough damage on the mother spider to be able to complete this level. Even without... Yeah, see, she was able to heal up there. She was able to get cleansed. Mazo Mage was able to save a cleanse for her. And and we're back in business again. This is one of the worst RNGs for HP burn. Venus did miss it on like 3 or 4 of the 𝓑𝓫𝓭𝓮s, but that will still be enough damage with Geomancer's War Master procs to be able to take out that mother spider in good time. It doesn't even really matter that we lose 𝓬𝓸𝓷 here, honestly, because we still have Geomancer and Venus, which are the only 2 people we need up to be able to kill off this mother spider. She's just gonna die. Having Eox's decrease attack AoE really helps too. I can't stress this enough, how key having an AoE. It's a very uncommon thing to have in this game, but if you somehow have a champ that does have decrease attack AoE, like Madame Ceres or something like that, it's a very good thing to throw in there as one of your support guys on Spider 20. Because just look at how very little damage that these Spiderlings are doing to Geomancer right now per hit, and he's only got 30k HP. But like I told you, he's got about 7,000 defense right now with the buff, and the decreased attack cuts their attack literally in half. The decreased crit rate cuts it by like 70%, so, you know, this is one of the worst runs that we could have possibly had happen. See the big heal there in the cleanse, and then he just heals to full, so don't tell me that Geomancer cannot be a spider tank. I know that ☠'Hades, I can quote him saying that with the new update, Geomancer will not be able to sufficiently be your team's tank in Spider 20. Yes, he can. Absolutely he can. Don't tell me that Geomancer can't be your spider tank. And I'll just tell you that that's a ridiculous statement to make. I think I'll be the one to go out there and say that he's the best option. He's your best option for a Spider 20 tank at this point in the game. I can't think of a better one other than maybe Miscreated Monster, who puts up huge shields in this, but not a lot of people have Miscreated Monster, so anybody, I guess. Geomancer could be budget replaced by somebody like Basilisk or Bellower. You can kind of build them out in the same way, and they'll still be able to do kind of the same job on the defensive side, where they do the AoE, attack all A1, and then gain back all their life. But the only thing that they won't be able to do is the constant reflect damage procs. So not only is he on offense in this build, but he's also on defense, which is why I think he's the best option for Spider 20 out of all epics to go with. In all reality, even if you didn't have somebody with HP burn AoE or a debuff spreader, you could still probably get this job done. In place of Venus, you could probably just go with a second Reviver and Cleanser like Reliquary Tender, or even a second Mazo Mage type personality that can cleanse your whole team, like Grunch Killjoy can cleanse your whole team and then put continuous heal buffs equal to the amount of debuffs that were removed, and just use Geomancer's HP burn reflex to kill the mother spider. Like before Geomancer came into the picture, that's basically all we had anyways, is just, you know, the amount of damage that Geomancer is doing through HP burn AoE. So now that we have basically, it's basically a 2-for-1, which cuts our times in half. You're obviously going to have a much longer run if you don't have an HP burn AoE. But you're still going to get it done with just Geomancer as your only guy dealing damage. You're still going to have poisons. You know, you could put a poisoner in there, like a defensive champ that also has poison. Like, that's why Eox is basically the perfect champion for this game for PvE, because not only does he bring a huge meat shield to the table, but he also does amazing things like decrease attack, decrease crit rate, decrease turn meter, heals your whole team, and not only does he do that, but he heals your whole team based off of how many debuffs are on the enemy that he's attacking. So if he's attacking the mother spider with 10 debuffs on her, you're going to gain an extra 20% heal on top of all of his masteries. He's already healing for 20% right off the bat. So he's going to be placing huge heals on your team. He's going to be placing like 20, 25, 30k heals on your whole team, plus himself. If he gets a War Master proc on that Lore of Restoration, he's going to be healing himself. Right there, he healed himself for 15k without a War Master proc. And he healed the rest of the team to full. Just boom. And that happens every 3 turns. He also has a poison on his A1, so he can land double poison on the mother spider, which deals like 60,000 per poison per turn. And not only that, every time he is attacked by anybody, he has a chance of increasing 2 random debuffs that are already on them. So if a spiderling is attacking him and they have an HP burn on them, then that HP burn could possibly work its way up to even more HP burns, as well as the mother spider. Same thing, those poison counters can get out of control very quickly, as well as the decrease attacks, decrease anything, man. Like, he's a top tier champion in this game, and if you're lucky enough to pull him. As you can see there, Venus's ability to deal 9 million damage through those HP burns is obviously much better than Geomancer at 1 million, but anyway, I don't really, I still think Geomancer could do the job on his own. It just might take 6 or 8 minutes. That's what I'm trying to say to you. But as you can see there, this is full auto. This is full auto. I don't even need to target the mother spider. And even for a run like last, where Geo was able to place his HP burn on the mother spider right off the bat, made it so much easier. This time he's not going to do it. So let's see what happens when it's full auto. He's not placing the HP burn. Let's see how the team is able to hold up when Geomancer is not doing his job. He's doing half of his job. I don't imagine this run will still take any more than 3 minutes and 30 seconds. Which is amazing, because before, Spider 20 used to be my most difficult area. I would go into Spider 15 or 13. I think I was stuck on Spider 13 for like 45 days in this game. And then the account picked up a Geomancer and a Mazo Mage, and shortly thereafter I had leveled Grumbler up, which is just a rare dwarf ally protect champ. I had leveled him up to level 60, and then I threw them all in a mix. I threw Venus, Rectordrath, Grumbler, Mazo Mage, and Geo all into the same team. Once I had good enough gear for them and stuff like that, and enough books on them and all that. And we were able to make it right up through Spider 25 in one day, and I said, holy man. And then I picked up the Eox, and I thought to myself, what about Eox for Spider? Could Eox be the answer? Could he be just the answer that you put in there and be able to just fully auto Spider 20, even with Geomancer's AI being so stupid because of the amount of defense that he brings to the whole team? And the answer is yes. You know, Eox is the answer. He is the one that is going to be able to make your team fully auto, even with negative affinity, through Spiders 20 through 25. So as you can see here, the team is having absolutely no problems with survivability. They remain at pretty much full health throughout the whole match. And it's just amazing to watch. Like, this is honestly my favorite. It used to be my least favorite dungeon to farm, and now it's my favorite dungeon to farm. Just watching the spiders struggle to kill my team is just the funniest thing ever, because before, I used to struggle to watch my team survive against the constant flurry of spiders. And now I never see them kill my team anymore. They used to kill my team maybe 1 out of every 4 times or one of every 6 times I would end up losing the match on full auto. Or sometimes even after targeting the mother spider, they would still have bad RNG and still be able to down my Venus and Geo right off the bat somehow. And now they just can't do it. Like, look, they're dealing absolutely no damage with those decreased attacks out there. It's just unbelievable. They're dealing 1,700 damage. It's going to take them 20 hits to kill my Venus. Like, that's just insane. They're never going to get 20 hits in on a Venus before she heals up. With Geo, it's going to take them about 10 solid hits before he gets downed. Which is, you know, you'll see him get downed, but he'll just get picked right back up by 𝓬𝓷, or we'll have the spider so far down in HP that she's just going to die anyway very shortly thereafter. So it doesn't matter if 𝓬𝓷 goes down right now; it's already over. So it's just like, it's unbelievable how easy Spider 20 is when you actually put your mind to it. It's the easiest dungeon in the game to complete. Another debuff that might be good for Spiders 20 would be an AoE stun. So someone like 𝓑𝓤𝓽𝓬 could come in here and basically replace Eox. Everybody gets 𝓑𝓤𝓽𝓬 at some point if you play the game and you log in for, I think, 200 days or something like that. You'll get 𝓑𝓤𝓽𝓬. What 𝓑𝓤𝓽𝓬 does is every time your character gets a turn, doesn't matter who it is on your team, they get a turn, he boosts their health by 10%. On top of that, he's got a revive, and on top of that, he has a AoE stun. So he has like a 50% chance of stunning everybody individually for 1 turn. So it works really well when you got HP burns on the spiders, because when they're stunned, they're still going to get a turn. They're not going to be slowed down any, which is great, and they're going to proc those HP burn triggers on the mother spider. This strategy works best for accounts that have don't have cold hearts, they don't have Septimuses, they don't have royal guards, they don't have miscreated monsters that can put up massive shields, they don't have really any sort of the other strategies that people use. Even here, see, Rector's going to go down, but look at the mother spider's going to go down at the exact same time. There's absolutely no threat of the team dying here, and Geomancer did deal 2 million damage that time. So Geomancer is putting in a lot of work on offense here. Even here, it's great. When Venus doesn't land her HP burn on the mother spider, Geo's going to go in ahead here, and he's going to place his HP burn on the mother spider. So he got 4 counters there and 3 weakens. So already, right there, we've won. There's no way we can lose this. There's no RNG even possible that could happen right now. Look at that. Geomancer got an extra counter on block buffs. Venus did, as well as Eox got an extra counter. Lasting gifts on Mazo Mage is the best thing in the world, because he puts up 3 buffs at the same time, which all have an individual chance of proccing lasting gifts. It's the best mastery, the best mastery to have on a champion like Mazo Mage. What am I vaping today? I got a new flavor in. Churros. It's DIY, it's do-it-yourself. It tastes like it's basically like cinnamon buns. I guess is the best way I can describe it. Churros is like another, it's like stick form of cinnamon buns, or it's almost like cinnamon. You ever have those cinnamon pretzels with cream cheese icing? Oh, they're so good. That's the closest thing I've ever had to bear paws. That's what this would be like. Bear paws. You can get them at some fairs, some winter carnivals and stuff like that. It's basically fried bread, so it's really tasty already to begin with. And then they sprinkle it with like cinnamon sugar. When it comes out of the deep fryer, they sprinkle a bunch of cinnamon sugar on it. And you'd maybe dip it in cream cheese icing or something like that, but it doesn't even need that. It's one of the best desserts ever, and this tastes just like it. So this will be one of the better runs, actually. As you can see, the team's just not taking damage. The spiders are not able to do anything about this. They're just going to take their beating. You're going to gain your piece of gear or your 100k silver, and you're going to move on to the next run within, 2 or 3 minutes. When you create a team with this much synergy and this much, basically just with this much synergy, it's so fun to watch how they work together as a team, which is basically the whole point of Raid, right, is to find a team that just does everything. And this team literally does everything that you could want them to possibly do in Spider. They're blocking debuffs, they're removing debuffs, they're increasing their defense, they're bolstering their defense. Geomancer also has a passive, Stone Guard, which decreases your whole team's damage by 15%. It's a static move. It can't be removed. It's basically a 15% strengthen, which is the second best buff in the game as compared to a 25% strengthen. But usually those debuffs only last 1 or 2 turns. This is up for good. It, decrease attack, veils, continuous heals, HP burn, decrease turn meter, decrease speed. What else? Poisoning. It's got a very consistent poisoning with Venus, if you're lucky enough to have pulled a Venus. She does poison on her A1. EX does poison on his A1. Rector does a secondary decrease attack on the off chance that somehow Eox's decrease attack gets resisted. She can still place decrease attack. I got nothing else to say about this, man. It's just perfect build. The spiders do run at about 160 speed, so if you could build your team to at least 160 speed, you might be able to start working this. What Agarith will do is she will eat the... I mean, if you're at Spider 20, you probably already know this. But the first turn that she takes, she will consume all of the spiderlings and gain all of the life and increase her attack by 10% for each of the spiderlings that she consumes. On her second turn, she will not eat the spiderlings, so that is the time where you want to start pounding the spiderlings with HP burns. And that's where you can really take control of the match, is on that second turn and that third turn. And that's why decreasing her turn meter and decreasing her speed is so important. You want to have those two things built into your kit somewhere, where you can decrease her speed and decrease her turn meter. Even with Geomancer holding 10 poison counters right now, he is still not a threat to die, as crazy as that sounds. He's taking no damage. But yeah, this is one of the runs where he wasn't able to place his HP burn on the mother spider and probably never will. So it's going to be up to Venus to do this job here, and damn, does she ever do a good job of it. Oh, and the fact that I have it on 1 speed probably isn't really a good thing either. Geomancer is built pretty much the same way Eox is. Similar speed, similar accuracy, with similar defense. He has defense % boots, defense % chest, and defense % gloves. Mazo Mage is a little different. I was not able to get enough speed into his kit to have defense % boots, but he does have defense % gloves and a defense % chest with 6-star speed boots that I've only rolled up to level 12. Because if I rolled him up to 16, he would be going way too fast. I want the team running at pretty much a similar speed. 𝓬𝓸𝓷 and Venus being the 2 exceptions, because the faster that 𝓬𝓸𝓷 gets her heals and her revives back, the better. And Venus, the faster that she cycles around to her HP burn, the better. So, as well as in other areas of the game, like Arena, Venus will be really good, as well as 𝓬𝓸𝓷 when they're running very fast. And I do use them in Arena quite often, so. As you can see here, the spiders are going to down Venus. They're going to down Geo, but it's going to be too little too late. They just have too much damage on the stack at the moment. And now they're not going to kill anybody, so. Okay, so that's it. That's all. 11.2 million damage from Venus there. That's Spider 20, folks. It's easy as that. It's definitely achievable. I was checking into the referral program. It looks like ROL has fallen 1 week, 5 days since his last login. Was able to get up to level 40 and then just fizzled out, so we'll take him off the books. So again, any new players, I'll leave the referral link to my account underneath the video. If somebody happens to get up to level 50, there are 3 spots open. I'll PayPal you $10 and I will collect all those sacred shards. If you're new to the video and you haven't yet, go ahead and subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment in the comment section. And with that, I'm getting out of here for today, yo. Good luck in your Spider 20 runs. And with that, I'll catch you all in the next one.
The mother